Hi everyone, it's Kim and welcome back to KTB Creates. So today we're going to do a whole bunch of storage for my new craft room that I'm going to be doing. So I decided to do budget-friendly craft storage, whether it's pieces that I had in my stash that I got from thrift stores or some Dollar Tree pieces, but it's all super affordable and things that you could very easily make on your own. So for the first project, I had this sign that I'm kind of dismantling here, and we're actually going to flip it over and we're going to use the back side of the sign to put little jars in to be pretty and decorative. So I just took it all apart, took all the stickers off. I spackled some of the nail holes, and then the bottom part of it, I am painting just in some white paint because you're obviously not going to see much of the bottom. But then the top part, I'm painting it in this beautiful paint by Waverly. Gosh, I'm forgetting the name of the color. I think it's agave, but it's a beautiful blue color, and that's the kind of tones that I'll have in my new craft space. So I am just painting the inside tray, if you will, that color, and it only took about 2 coats of chalk paint. Now, I found these placemats at the Dollar Tree and I absolutely loved the colors and the patterns. I just thought it was so pretty. So I thought, there's something I could possibly do with these, and it just went with that agave color so well that I'm just using one placemat just to add some decorative like trim to the edges of the tray. So that's all I'm doing here is I'm just measuring and cutting the placemat with a sharp razor blade, and you'll see I'm just going to glue it to the tray piece. You do want to make sure that you have a really sharp razor blade for this because it is a little bit thicker and you want to get a nice straight line. So then all I'm doing here is I'm also going to put 2 pieces on the sides of the tray. So I'm just cutting some smaller pieces as well. And now we're all set to apply that to our little tray. So I'm going to use a combination of hot glue and some Gorilla Clear Glue. I love this glue. I love Gorilla Glue. I use the glue sticks. I use this glue. It's a great glue. It holds really, really well. And I obviously like the hot glue because it's nice, quick hold. So I just apply that right to the edge. And then I'm just going to press it down with some clamps just to make sure it stays in place and that Gorilla Glue has time to set. And then I just took 2 silver thumbtacks and I'm just hammering them in on the edges of those pieces just to give it a little bit more of a decorative touch. Now, I purchased 5 jars at the Dollar Tree, and I'm just giving you an option here. You can cut out, this is just some Cricut paper that I had. It's a lot thicker. It's kind of like a cardstock type of a paper that I'm just applying as a decorative piece on top of the lids just to give it some color and just look a little bit different, dress it up a little. But you could cut it with decorative scissors too if you didn't like just the plain circle. Then I took some of the white faux leather ribbon and I am just going to decorate the edge of the lid with that. And all I'm using to adhere that to the lid is just a little bit of hot glue. And now I'm all set to fill them with all of my craft supplies. I'm using all of these jars for all my wooden type pieces. So the tumbling tower blocks, the little square blocks, all my wood beads and things like that. And these jars that I purchased at the Dollar Tree, 5 of them fit absolutely perfectly in that, tray slash frame. So just an idea for you guys, don't think a little bit out of the box and kind of look at pieces with open eyes. And then, of course, because I felt like it just needed a little bit more, I had to add a cute little leather bow to the lids. So that's all I'm doing here is just hot gluing that right onto the side of the lid. And that's all, that's really it. And again, it's a very functional piece. However, it's really pretty and it's going to add like a little splash of color and it's just going to look so cute in my craft space. So I'm really excited with how this turned out. You could also put like decorative knobs on top of the lid. That would be a really beautiful idea as well. But I just kind of went with what I had on hand. So let me know what you think. So I wanted to take a minute to give a quick shout out to today's sponsor, Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community for creatives just like you and I. They have a huge library filled with thousands of inspiring classes on things like photography, video designs, illustration, and so much more. What I really love most about Skillshare is that the classes are under an hour, so I can easily fit them into my schedule, and it offers many different skill levels as well. I recently took a cool class on product photography. Each segment of the class was about 2 to 5 minutes long, so it was quick and easy, but it was chock full of tips and tricks to better my photography skills. The best thing is that the classes are specific to learning, so there's no ads and they're always launching new classes. You can get an annual subscription at less than $10 a month. And guess what? Skillshare has a special offer for you. The first 1,000 subscribers to click the link in the description box will get a free trial of the premium membership, so you can start exploring your creativity right now. Don't forget and check it out today. Thanks, Skillshare. So for our next DIY, I know I'm not the first one to use these cute little wooden boxes from the Dollar Tree as kind of cubby storage, but I was just so inspired once I saw that placemat to start decorating everything and coordinate the pieces together. So what I did was I stained 12 of these wooden boxes that you can find at the Dollar Tree. I just used my Waverly Antique Wax to stain them all inside and out. All I'm doing here is gluing them together with my Gorilla wood glue, and you're just going to attach all 12 together in like a perfect little square. Then I just grabbed some scrapbook paper that I had on hand, and I'm cutting out little squares to adhere to the back of the wooden drawers where that little cutout shape is, because I don't want to see it, and I don't want any of the items that I'm going to be putting in the drawers to like fall into that little hole. So we're just going to cover it right up. And it adds a really pretty decorative touch to your drawers. And this is what it looks like when it's all put together. So we have a nice little storage caddy for all kinds of little decor pieces and supplies. Now, I have these little wooden blocks that it was actually part of the Dollar Tree. It's a wooden game that I just took apart, and I use these all the time. So they do have holes in them. So you just want to hot glue the holes towards the inside and the hole to the bottom of the piece. So I'm going to use 6 of them as feet for the bottom of my little cubby drawer system. And then I'm also going to use these same beads for the knobs for the drawers. And all I'm showing you here is that, like I said, there's 2 holes on each of them. So you want to make sure the holes are pointing downwards, and then you're hot gluing the other hole to the drawer. So then on your finished sides, you're not seeing anything. And I'm just going ahead and centering all of them on all my little wooden jars. Now, I didn't paint these or anything. It's just like a natural, nice wood, and I thought they were pretty as is, but you could also do that if you chose to. And then I am taking that same placemat that we already used, and I am just going to cut up some pieces for the sides and the top of that drawer system, just again to give it some decorative touch, and it's also going to now coordinate with the other piece that I just made. So all I'm going to do is cut it out here with my razor blade, and then we're going to go ahead and adhere it to the drawers with some hot glue and Gorilla Clear Glue once again. So if you're anything like me when you craft, I'm constantly like buying little embellishments and pieces and then I stick them somewhere and I can't remember where the heck I put them. So I'm so excited to have these drawers because I think it's the perfect place to store all those little items. So you'll see me here, I'm just throwing some like thumbtacks, and I have gold ones and I have silver ones. So I'm using two different drawers for that. There's so many other things. I have the little makeup sponges that I'm going to put in a drawer. And like I said, just pearls and different kinds of embellishments that I could use these cute little drawers for, and then I'll know exactly where everything is. So I am so excited about this. I, again, really love how it turned out. It does look high end. It looks like something you could purchase in, a higher end store and probably pay at least, $25, $30 for it. So I'm really thrilled with how it turned out. So as always, let me know in the comment section below which craft storage item is your favorite from today. Always love to hear from all my supportive, wonderful subscribers. So definitely let me know down below. If this is your first time watching one of my videos, welcome to KTB Creates. I would love it if you would click on that red subscribe button and tap on that notification bell so that you know every time I upload a new video. I do tons of DIY videos with Dollar Tree finds and thrift store finds. I do hauls and furniture revamps, all kinds of fun, budget-friendly, decorative ideas. So I would love to have you join part of my family. So go ahead and click that button. And also, don't forget to join me over on social media. Try and stay active on Instagram. So I'd love to catch up with you over there as well. So for our next DIY, we are going to take some of these little cutting boards from the Dollar Tree. Now, I haven't been able to find these again. I found them once. So I had purchased like, I don't know, 7 of them at that time. So today we're going to use 5 of them. And all we're going to do is adhere the sides, the 4 sides, and then the bottom piece. So that's all I'm showing you here is I'm using a mixture of the Gorilla clear glue and hot glue, and I'm just going to carefully glue all the sides together. So you're going to do 2 sides like horizontally, and then 2 sides you're going to do the boards vertically. And then of course you're going to use 1 board for the bottom portion as well. Now, just to make it a little bit more sturdy and secure, I did decide to go in with some of the tumbling tower blocks, and I am just hot gluing them right into the corners, all 4 corners of the piece. And I'm just sticking like 2 of them in each corner. And again, it's just going to make it a little bit more stable. Although I was very pleased with how it turned out and it seems very secure, but it's just some extra added security. Next, I decided to take one of these garden fences that you can find at the Dollar Tree, especially right now. I've been seeing them at all of mine, and I'm just going to take some wire cutters, and I'm cutting off 2 like pieces of the side. And these are just going to be decorative pieces for the side of our little caddy. So I decided I didn't like the plain black, so I just went ahead and dry brushed on some white chalk paint, just really lightly, just to give it a really kind of old world type of farmhouse type look. So I did do the front and back just in case you can see anything once we hot glued. Then you're just going to hot glue it right to the sides of this little caddy, and I love the decorative feature that it adds to this. I just think it looks so cool. And I'm just making sure that the hot glue is really adhering to it. So I did clamp a few pieces just to make sure it held in place. And then what we're going to do is we're going to kind of hide all the ugly with some nautical rope. So all you're going to do is hot glue nautical rope around the bottom, and then like up and around the edge of your little fence piece. And this is gonna finish everything off just beautifully. And like I said, make it hide all the glue and everything, but make it look like a beautiful finished piece. And again, I think this is such a cool piece to use for storage. All I did here was I decided to use some foam board just to make like little cubbies within the caddy. So I just went with 4, and I just cut the pieces according to size. and I hot glued them in there. And I decided I was going to use this for all of my like wooden sticks and things like that, like dowels and all that stuff that I have. Because again, I buy them and then I have them in all different places and it gets really unorganized really quickly. And they're items that I do use a lot. So then just to decorate the piece a little bit more, because it was a little plain on the front and back, I'm taking a piece of that chalkboard sticker paper that you can find at the Dollar Tree. And I'm also taking a stencil that I recently found there that I absolutely loved. And I'm just cutting the piece down to fit on the front of your little caddy. And we're going to stick that down. And then all I'm going to do is tape down the stencil to the chalkboard. And I'm just going to go ahead and stencil with some chalk paint in white. And the trick with the stenciling, and I used to go in like really heavy-handed with this stuff, but because I like the farmhouse look so much, I realize you actually need to go in really super light-handed, and it's okay if it's not full coverage because you're definitely going to see it come through. So all I'm doing here is taping it down so it doesn't move and I don't stencil any of the pieces that shouldn't be. And then you're all set to go ahead and stencil. And I just like to use these little sponges. You could use a makeup sponge or even like a cleaning sponge or something like that. And the whole idea is to tap up and down really lightly and you won't get any bleed through. And then the finishing touch was just to add a little bit of stitching around the edge of the sticker paper in my white chalk pen. And again, I just think it adds a nice little touch to the piece and it's a nice finishing look. And I am just gonna pop in all of my different size wooden popsicle sticks, and I have wooden dowels and all kinds of stuff that I do reach for quite a bit. And it also lets me know, like, how much I have of each size. So if I'm running low on something, I can take a quick glance and know that I need more. So yeah, so here it is. And lastly is this super easy DIY with some thrifted items. So I have this glass piece that I got for $1, and then this plastic, it's actually a little tray that I got for 50 cents. So we're going to make this into like I guess you would call it a cake stand, but I'm going to use it for storage. And I'm going to use those super jumbo popsicle sticks. And we're going to do 2 layers of that around the edging of this little tray because we're going to flip it upside down and use it as like more of a decorative piece. So that's all I'm doing here is I'm cutting everything down to size to cover that little flower edging along the edges. And now I'm just going to hot glue everything in place, and I'm obviously going to do that on all 4 sides. Now, because the edges kind of like bowed out a little bit, I guess I would say, or kind of came out at an angle, I have to trim the wooden popsicle sticks with a razor blade. But it's really easy to do. So that's all I'm doing here is kind of trimming off the excess. And then the second layer of the popsicle sticks is going to kind of cover all of that. So you're not going to really see all of it once you put on that final piece. And then we're going to go ahead and paint everything so none of it is going to be noticeable. And the cool thing about this piece is that it offers a variation with height as far as decorating. So even though this isn't like our traditional like storage piece, you could use it for, plant or a floral display, but you can also use it to add things to the top of it in decorative jars to store different craft supplies. So now we're going to take this, I guess it's a candlestick holder, although there's a hole in the top and the bottom. So if you guys have any idea what this might have been, let me know because I couldn't figure it out. But then I just took a bunch of the wooden tumbling tower blocks and I'm just going to glue them with some wood glue all together because I wanted a little bit more height between the tray and so that you could see more of the candlestick bottom piece, I guess we'll say. And you're not going to be able to see it because the edge of the tray that comes down is going to kind of cover it. So that's all I'm doing here is gluing everything together. I'm definitely using a whole lot of my Gorilla Glue and a little bit of hot glue. And then I just put something heavy on top too. And I waited 24 hours for it to make sure there was good security. And then as you see here, I went ahead and covered the clear bottom part, and then I spray painted everything else with my Rust-Oleum hammered metal spray paint. And then just to give it a little bit more stability, I decided to add a whole bunch of the river rock that you can get at the Dollar Tree in the bottom. Now, to make sure that it's nice and secure and there's something to secure the bottom piece to this, I went ahead and added some nautical rope in there just so there was something enough to hot glue this piece of foam board to the bottom because obviously that's what's going to hold in all of that decorative rock. So again, just something like really quick and simple, very different. And like I said, it could be used as a decorative piece, but it could also be used as storage in my craft space with some decorative mason jars, or I have these little, they're actually cans that I use to put all my paintbrushes in and things like that. So you could just kind of throw them up there as well and use that as like a storage piece. So I'm excited with how this kind of came out with some, just like I said, stuff that I had laying around. So I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed it all. Don't forget to let me know in the comment section below which one was your favorite. And if you aren't already a member of my family, please go ahead and click that subscribe button. I would love to have you. Make sure you like and share this video because it helps my channel grow. And I wish each and every one of you an absolutely wonderful week. God bless and enjoy. I will see you all very soon.